Page 36 and 37. Making your own budget. To make a budget, need to first track expenses. One way to get a handle on yours or anyone else's expenses is to keep a daily log or record of all the money spent. A daily record can tell you where the money is actually going. For example, you might tell yourself that $20 a week in spending money is enough. However, if you were actually to track your spending money, you might find that you're actually spending closer to $25 a week. This doesn't sound like much at all, but $5 extra each week adds up to $20 extra a month, and this turns into $240 additional each year. And then if you did that with more expenses than just that one, you would see that any budget could get out of whack. As we stated with the Carsons, there are fixed and variable expenses. Fixed expenses stay the same each month. Examples of fixed expenses include rent or house payment, savings payments, utilities, and insurance payments. Some people have different fixed expenses than others. For example, someone with a child and a job will have to calculate child care expenses into his or her budget. Variable expenses are expenses that vary or change from day to day. Many times they can change. The change can be small, but it should have the money budgeted to cover these variable expenses. Variable expenses can include needs as well as wants. Variable expenses can include monies budgeted for spending money, entertainment, dental and medical bills, and expenses related to maintaining a home or an apartment. Some people might include groceries as a variable expense, but after time they might include it as a fixed expense. It's not one that you can really estimate. However, you can actually cut back on the grocery bills. Groceries can actually be considered a need rather than a want. Assignment number 1. Below is a list of items that Carolyn, a young single working mom, spends money on for a week. List her daily expenses for the week on the next page. Give the totals of the daily expenses. So you see the list. For each day on the next page, write the total under the day of the amount of money that she spent. Then find the total from all of the days and write it in the totals column to find the amount of money that she spent that whole week. Your needs versus your wants. Assignment number 1. Track your daily expenses for a week. Do this. Carry a small notebook with you and record everything that you spend money on. Then, in the evening, transfer your daily list to another sheet of paper. Add the totals for that day. At the end of the week, add the 7 days together. Follow Caroline's daily log as an example. Assignment number 2. Now go through the daily expenses and put each expense in a need or want category. When you're finished, add up the expenses in the want category. What does these expenses total?